based
Yeah.
on PH.
Yes. And hello, citizens of the internet.
Hello.
And we are here today for a special stream celebrating Raptor Rex being accepted into both Yale and Harvard.
Yo, Harvard.
Oh, no, wait. This is the stream celebrating 1 year of Kenzie streaming with us.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't be bothered to check the title?
I did this like 5 minutes ago.
You knew I sent this to you 2 days ago.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast.
You should see a doctor about that then, Dory.
About what?
Look, something shiny.
Where?
Alright, get this link out so I can...
I don't know, I'd rather get this Zelda out. God, I'm so fucking funny.
I thought that was funny.
Thank you.
Genuinely funny.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Why would I lie?
Alright.
As
Welcome,
people
Matt's
say,
out.
like people say, a line is wrong. My favorite character. Oh, okay, I have no joke, but I am told the line's bad. I would never lie.
I've never told a lie in my life.
Not if I, except for that one time I
Raptor, you're a robot again.
Okay, hang on.
The kind of funny thing is, though, even when he's roboting, like, I understand what he's saying now.
I can't. Maybe it's just like...
life.
I don't know, maybe it's like a difference in our connection. I don't know, but like it's so choppy for me on my end.
I mean, like, despite like the roboticness and the choppiness of it, like after having heard it for so long, I understand it.
Mm.
Must be a language.
Yes. We'll have to do a stream on that.
Where is everyone?
I don't know.
Hang on.
Oh, hello, Cam.
Hey, Cam.
Another Kenzie story? Fear. I mean, to be fair...
Excuse you! I chose something good this week!
Yeah, it's not Powerpuff Girls creepypastas this time.
A weird thing is that I just got the YouTube notification after the stream started.
Base.
Like 7 seconds ago.
So, Kenzie, what can you tell us something about the first time you streamed with us?
So I think the first time I streamed, well, obviously it was with you and Gemma, and it was right before we got down to reading Pen Pals, I believe, Chapter 3, which was a different stream we did, in which you sang a little ditty recommended by Gemma. Would you like to give us a taste?
No, because the last time I did that, the video got struck.
I know, it's such a bummer.
But, you know, that's just something that happens to people like us. And it's really why we have to stick together.
There it is. But... And then we went on to reading Pen Pals, which was a story that I had not read before. I think I had heard about it, but it was really good.
Yeah, we moved on to Pen Pal because we had to keep our heads up. We had to stick together.
Oh.
And nothing lasts forever. Oh.
You done with the reference?
Yeah.
Excellent. But Pen Pal was a really great experience, and that was something we've been making plans over Cobe's stream.
Yes. Oh yeah, and I can say about that first time. God damn it, Samantha.
Samantha! Fucking bitch.
Had the audacity to have the entire back seat of her car removed.
Didn't she know her coworkers' kids would need to be taken with her to work? Otherwise, a pedophile was gonna swoop in and fuck with these kids. Not in that way, not yet, but
Cam says, quotes, oh whoa, oh, Kenzie 2022.
hey, Manny said it first.
Oh
way
no,
back when,
he
a year ago.
He said it like you. He made it sound like you said, "Oh,
I know
whoa."
what he did. I know what he was doing.
What? You know what he's doing? You have the gift. Quick.
It's that pun voodoo.
Tell me the lottery numbers.
7, 5, 6. A magical troll.
Okay, it's
Hell.
no. It's 3, 8, 2, 5, 7, 8, 6, 7. And now there's a code. There's a reason I chose those numbers specifically. If anyone can crack the code, I'll give you an imaginary cookie.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make my attempt first, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Kind of feels familiar. Like that How to Read Numbers book I was reading the other day.
Could be.
What about the magic troll?
How you doing? Yeah. K5? K5?
K5, indeed.
Alright, so Kenzie, why don't you now tell us a bit about what we're going to be reading this evening?
All right, I can tell you with the utmost certainty for everyone who is watching. I think I can safely say, even for the Brits, that this was most definitely in your elementary school library.
Nice.
Can anyone
it
guess?
Wasn't mine.
Cam says K5, my favorite number.
Is it Spooky Tomes?
It's scary stories to tell in the dark.
And
yeah,
I
know.
went.
I was just playing a joke.
I went through and found the absolute best image to use for our background. I want everyone to say hello to Mr. Philip E. Quine, Esquire.
I will once the stream catches up. Still waiting. Still waiting. Accidentally clicked on something. There it is. Hello.
He's a close friend of Thomas F. Ullery, professional mischief maker.
The illustrations in this book are fantastic, though.
Yes. Cam says, oh wow, that is a look. Cam, you best not be saying anything bad about Mr. Philip E. Quine, Esquire.
Hang on, I'm just gonna share this in Cortex Club. We don't have a big audience on my big night, so you know what?
No.
Why?
Because I said so.
It's like you don't want views. All right, so is it all right if I read the opening because Alvin Schwartz is a fellow New Jersey resident?
Yeah, we probably wouldn't get it. It's a Jersey thing.
Joyzy.
Pioneers used to entertain themselves by telling scary stories. At night, they might gather in somebody's cabin or around a fire and see who could scare the others the most. Some girls and boys in my town do the same thing today. They get together at somebody's house and they turn out the lights and eat popcorn and scare one another half to death. Telling scary stories is something people have done for thousands of years, for most of us like being scared in that way. Since there isn't any danger, we think it is fun. There are many great scary stories to tell. There are ghost stories. There are tales of witches, devils, boogeymen, zombies, and vampires. There are tales of monstrous creatures and of other dangers. There even are stories that make us laugh at all the scariness. Some of these tales are very old, and they are told around the world, and most of them have the same origins.
God damn it. Sorry about that.
They are based on things that people saw or heard or experienced, or thought they did. Many years ago, a young prince became famous for a scary story he started to tell but did not finish. His name was Mamilius, and he was probably 9 or 10 years old. William Shakespeare told about him in The Winter's Tale. It was on a dark winter's day that his mother, the queen, asked him for a story. Would someone like to be the little prince?
Can I be him?
I mean, he only has 2 lines.
Okay, I'm good with that. A sad tale's best for winter.
He said.
I have one of us, sprites and goblins.
Do your best to frighten me with your sprites, she said. You're powerful at it.
I shall tell it softly,
he said.
Yond crickets shall not hear it.
And he began.
There was a man dwelt by a church side.
But that was as far as he got, for at that moment the king came in and arrested the queen and took her away. And soon after that, Mamilius died. No one knows how he would have finished the story. If you started as he did, what would you tell? Most scary stories are, of course, meant to be told. They are more scary that way. But how you tell them is important. As Mamilius knew, the best way is to speak softly, so that your listeners lean forward and catch your words. To speak slowly, so that your voice sounds scary. The best time to tell these stories is at night. In the dark and the gloom, it is easy for someone listening to imagine all sorts of strange and scary things. Alvin Schwartz, Princeton, New Jersey.
Interesting story about Maximilius Pegasus.
That was not his name!
Yeah, they talked about Yugi Boy and everything.
I know what you're referencing, I just can't make the connection because I don't remember much about that show.
It's time to duel.
That I know.
Or as my friend Doug would say, it's time to battle.
That is not where I thought you were going with that sentence.
Alright, so then we got a scarecrow saying, ah!
This chapter is filled... Oh, sorry.
You could be just yawning.
Raptor, you're sounding like Will Smith in Men in Black. See, this guy snarling here? He's not snarling, he's sneezing.
This chapter is filled with jump stories you can use to make your friends jump with fright.
Ha.
That wasn't a joke. I think he was just put emphasis on that.
Still, I'll be the judge of that if I jump or not.
The big toe. Ah, god damn it. We already got Doge coming in here.
Hey, okay, listen. It made a great scene for the movie.
I didn't watch
It was a
that
movie.
movie because I saw Jonathan Yaniv in it.
Who?
The supposed transgender person in Canada who tried to
Oh no! Oh no! 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 No!
who tried
no.
to have a pool party for just him and little girls.
He was in it, or
There was like some fat, doughy monster in it. And I joked
Wait.
and said,
Oh yeah.
So you're making a joke?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that didn't like you were making it sound as if like there was like actually someone involved with the movie who was in because I liked the movie. I thought the movie was good.
Hello, Iguana Boy. Hello, the father.
Hey guys.
Oh, what's good, Coolians? I thought you said what's good, Colonials. It's like, yeah, the Colonials. We're taking this place from the British.
They could also be taking cologne. I am very funny.
That was good. The hell are you? You don't want to know.
Manny was making a joke that went pretty much over everyone's head.
Yeah, I was
as
making
an excuse to not watch a relatively good movie.
I was making a joke about a pedo.
I know, but ultimately, I recommend seeing the adaptation. I liked it. I look forward to seeing a sequel if it gets made. So, would you like to start?
Yes.
With the big toe.
Alright. A boy was digging at the edge of the garden when he saw a big toe. He tried to pick it up, but it was stuck to something. So he gave it a good hard jerk, and it came off it in his hand.
Sorry.
Alright, everyone. Kenzie is 5 years old.
Oh, you are one to talk.
I am perfectly innocent. Then he heard something groan and scamper away.
You child!
Frightening fables to speak about in the shadows, yes. The boy took the toe into the kitchen and showed it to his mother.
It looks nice and plump.
She said. It was then that the boy got frightened and realized his mother had a foot fetish.
I'll put it in the soup and we'll have it for supper.
I'm sorry, fucking
That's
what?
gotta be a safety hazard. That's gotta be a major safety hazard.
The boy then proceeded to call the cops on his mother.
My mother... I found a disembodied toe, and my mother's first idea is, oh boy, cannibalism. The monster is
911.
Dan
Yes,
Schneider.
hello. My mom is being real sus.
Go to unforgivable jail.
Never.
I jokingly said like a sus line earlier, talking to Gemma, Cobb, and Rudy, and it physically hurt me to say it.
And yet you lived.
Why the fuck would you eat a random wild toe? Exactly. He gave it a jerk and it groaned. Yeah, sounds a bit rude, doesn't it?
I love that. Why would you eat a random wild toe? As if you only should eat the ones that are grown at your local farms.
Yeah, the domestic toes.
They're made free range.
I'll put this in the soup. Is this set in France in the 1700s? Unless it is 19th century London, like in The Origin of Laughing Jack, like, what's for dinner? Half a dead Irishman? All right.
You can give the monster an Irish accent.
Oh, yes, I'm going to do that. All right. That night, his father carved the toe into 3 pieces, and they each had a piece. Okay, how?
911, yes, hello. Just arrest all 3 of us.
Okay, when you say big toe, how big are you talking?
Well, let's look at the picture for scale.
But
Honestly, the way the exaggeration is drawn with the child, it looks about the size of that kid's fist.
yeah, it looks like a really tiny child.
Exactly. With really big ears.
Maybe these are hobbits. This is what they've been doing after Lord of the Wings.
After the Battle of the Shire, they had to resort to cannibalism until the crops grew back.
Yes.
Does that mean they'd have to ew, that means they'd have to shave the feet before consuming.
Look at it this way. If you get it from the store, you know you probably won't get some kind of oral athlete's foot. God damn it, Cam. Why, though, a just question, the father. Alright. The boy fell asleep almost at once. He probably passed out from disgust. But in the middle of the night, a sound awakened him. It was something out in the street. It was a voice, and it was calling to him.
Do you want me to take over while you read the voice for the...
Yes, please. Where is me toe? Hoity hoy.
It groaned. When the boy heard that, he got very scared. But he thought,
It doesn't know who I am. It'll never find me.
Then he heard the voice once more, only now it was closer.
Where's me blarney toe?
It groaned. The boy pulled the blankets over his head and closed his eyes.
I'll go to sleep.
He thought.
When I wake up, it will be gone.
But as soon as he heard the back door open, and again... But soon he heard the back door open, and again he heard the voice.
Where is me blarney toe?
It groaned. Then the boy heard footsteps move through the kitchen into the dining room, into the living room, into the front hall. Then slowly, they climbed the stairs. Closer and closer they came. What were you saying?
Hello, Cricket.
Hi, Cricket.
Hi, Cricket.
Glad you
Soon they were in the upstairs hall. Now they were outside his door.
Where is me blarney toe?
The voice groaned. His door opened. Shaking with fear, he listened as the footsteps slowly moved through the dark toward his bed. Then they stopped.
Where's me blarney toe?
The voice groaned. Say it, Manny.
I'm sorry. Cricket says Manny's vampire voice is so good, OMFG. Yeah, he's a foot vampire.
Foot pyre.
Alright.
Hi, Bioman.
Hello, Bioman.
Hey,
You've
Bio.
got it!
We're reading scary stories to tell in the dark, and while we, the 3 of us definitely agree that it is a classic, we're having fun with it. We're reading it as if we were reading Hot Beans, because it's just a fun book.
Yeah.
Just so we make that all clear, we all 3 very much enjoy this book.
Manny's voice is too good at this. Spooky tales to speak in the dark time. Yes, vampire.
Fuck vampire.
Now they have to eat Samwise and his 7 kids. No, if Sam is not being defeated, and he had 13 kids. Yeah,
I two base to us with the cannibalism.
Yes.
Let's face it, in the event of a Hobbit famine, Samwise is winning.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole thing, but people are always like, oh, it makes no sense that Sam and Frodo didn't get together at the end of the story. It's like they were on the side of a fucking erupting volcano, and Sam's talking about his girl back home. They survive, and the first thing he does is marry her and have 13 babies with her.
But yeah, Samwise
Damn.
gay.
Yeah.
Because God forbid two people of the same gender have a strong sibling bond.
Yes. Cab says frightening fables to orate in the twilight.
I like that.
Oh, but wait. The Big Toe has another ending!
Woohoo!
Dun, dun, dun.
When the boy hears the voice calling for its toe, he finds a strange-looking creature up inside the chimney. The boy is so frightened he can't move. He just stands there and stares at it. Finally, he asks,
What
Thunder!
you got such big eyes for?
And the creature answers,
Ah, to look you through and through!
What you got such big claws for?
To scratch up your grave!
What you got such a big mouth for?
aka,
To swallow
Let
ye
that mouth
whole!
feel.
Oh wait, I think this is Cricket talking about a rotisserie chicken.
What you got such sharp teeth for?
To chomp your bones! As you give the
The
last
end.
line, pounce on one of your friends.
we're not reading the actual stage directions.
Immediately get a restraining order from your friend.
Wait, Kenzie, don't fucking sell our boy short of anything. Samwise Gamgee is fucking winning. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said the Gamgees are totally winning, or like totally surviving through a famine.
Also, isn't Frodo like 20 years older than Sam? He is, but like Hobbit ages were weird.
Like that's kind
Yeah,
of like the
crazy.
equivalent of like being a grade ahead.
Yeah. The boy finds the creature, which resembled a small, funny yellow dog. God damn it. Alright, so that one was fun.
Onto the walk.
Well, you might be able to do that. But can you talk the talk?
Boo.
My uncle was walking down a lonely dirt road one day. He
On
came
the Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
I hate you so
I'm
much.
sorry. What was that?
I hate you so much. Oh.
It's a classic.
I don't get it.
You never Boulevard of Broken Dreams by who was it? Green Day.
Nope, not at all.
God, you Zoomer.
Kenzie, can I ask you something?
If I said no, would it matter?
No.
Go ahead.
Is your shadow the only one who walks beside you?
It is.
Emo Kenzie. The boy. Oh, why do you have such a big nose? The monster. Yeah.
Because you're a racist.
Yeah, you know what, little boy? The monster is very self-conscious about his large nose, and until now, everyone had the decency not to say anything about it. What a jerk.
You want to hear a funny story from my college days, because this is what reminds me of it.
Yes.
So, I'll occasionally jab like jokes at myself regarding to my nose, even though every now and then I'm very insecure about it. I think it's pretty big. But so one time in college, my friend Rachel, who is also of my suite mates. Her mom came to visit, and her family is Jewish. So we come in for her room for a little bit. Me and my roommate and her roommate were there, and just like talking. Hi, good to see you again. Blah 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 blah. So then they go out, and her mom and her stepdad go and take her out to dinner. So they come back, and now we're all watching a movie. And I remember just making a joke about my nose and stuff, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, Kenzie, that reminds me. My mom during dinner at one point asked if you were Jewish or Italian."
Jesus.
And I looked at her and I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" She was like, "You're Italian, right?" I'm like, "Well, yeah."
Nice.
And that's that story. So yeah, that really made me feel good about myself.
And everyone in the chat raptor is confused as to how you've not heard Green Day.
Okay, basically, not only to win the Grunge Rock, and I think whenever it was on the radio, I wasn't listening. I was just sitting off in the void,
Fair.
being like, "This song sucks. Why do people like it so much?"
Although the father says, in Raptor's defense, why would he listen to Green Day?
Exactly. Like, who likes Green Day, to be honest?
Yeah, well, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it wasn't shoved down your throat at some point in your life.
I mean, that's when my brother liked Green Day, so. And My Chemical Romance, that was his emo phase. And the one time, he and I and our friends were all taking like one of those online quizzes, like what genre of music are you most like? And my brother got emo. So we were like,
at least with My Chemical Romance, if you didn't want to hear that band, you could more actively avoid it. You couldn't avoid Green Day in the early 2000s.
Anyway, so we were all making jokes about it, and he was getting fed up with it, so he just went, "I'm not emo! God, I hate my life!" And he immediately realized his mistake.
And now I hate myself for saying that. God damn it!
Alright. Anyway, my uncle was walking down a lonely dirt road one day. He came upon a man who also was walking down that road. The man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was scared of my uncle, and my uncle was scared of that man.
It would seem they have reached an impasse.
We've reached a conundrum. Kif, give me some giant scissors. But they kept on walking, and it began to get dark. The man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was very scared of my uncle, and my uncle was very scared of that man. But they kept on walking, and they came to a big woods. It was getting darker, and the man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was really scared of my uncle, and my uncle was really scared of that man. But they kept on walking, and deep down into the woods they went. It was getting darker. The man looked at my uncle, and my uncle looked at the man. The man was terrible scared of my uncle, and my uncle was terrible scared of... Ah!
God! You scared me!
Really?
Yeah. But really, all this story proves is that this unknown man and your uncle are pussies.
Yes. Oh, no.
What?
I might need to, staple my mouth shut to stop from making a joke for this next one.
Boy! Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
There was an old woman who
lived
all by...
Say the title.
What do you come for?
Well, as a wise man once said, I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Well, there you have it, folks. And Manny just answered the age-old question. He is, in fact, an ass man.
I didn't think that was a secret.
Well, you know, it's always that unspoken question of boobs or butts.
Cam says, I'm not emo. God, I hate my life. Young Manny, you fool! You fallen victim to one of the classic blunders! It just turns into trapped in the drive-thru. He looks at me, and I look at him. And he looks at me, and I look at him.
And meanwhile, the fucking cars behind him are just honking away. Fucking move!
The
There
span
was an old-
from 2004 to 2015 is such a travesty. Yeah.
There was an old woman who lived all by herself, and she was very lonely. Sitting in the kitchen one night, she said, "Oh, I wish I had some company." No sooner had she spoken than down the chimney tumbled 2 feet from which the flesh had rotted. The old woman's eyes bulged with terror.
What the fuck?
Then what is this guy's obsession with feet?
He's Doge.
Then 2 legs dropped to the hearth and attached themselves to the feet. Then a body tumbled down. Then 2 arms and a man's head. As the old woman watched, the parts came together into a great gangling man. The man danced around and around the room. Faster and faster he went. Then he stopped and looked into her eyes. "What do you come for?" she asked in a small voice that shivered and shook.
What do I come for?
He said.
Baby, I come for you. Oh. I can hear Kenzie's glare.
Oh, I was actually just looking at the one ahead.
Also, as seriously though, I want to say, it's like, wait, why are only the feet devoid of flesh? What's going on here? Oh, well, you see, I was walking by some farm, and some kid and his parents started eating my feet. It was all I could do to get away with the rest of my flesh intact.
Iguana boy, the hip bone's connected to the leg bone.
Leg bone.
Oh wait, it says, as you shout the last word, stamp your foot and jump at someone nearby. Imagine doing reading this on like a train or something.
You're sitting next to a complete stranger. And all of a sudden, "Ah! What'd you do that for? The book told me to."
That wasn't remotely a secret. That was a secret as the life day. Yes, and we got rid of the bot.
I can't
Fuck
believe
you,
there are
guy.
bots on YouTube. Like, I thought I would be safe from those stupid bots trying to sell us their scam websites that'll give our computers like a syphilis. But no, they're still here.
Yeah. Now wait. Can we read the title of this next one, or is it gonna be like some racist thing to say?
No, this was this is a weird one. And this one was one that was also in the movie, but it's, I think, related to a different story and just given this title.
Okay.
It's weird, but no, there. This is a book that's read by kids all over the country. Of course, there's nothing racist in it.
Can I be the head?
Yes.
I like to say a lot, so I want to be the head.
So
Yay.
this
I don't
is
think it's a head, really. I think it's more just a. This is a weird story. Okay, it is a head, but
Iguana
It is
Boy
just a-
says, Raptor, the only word I understood you say was syphilis.
To learn my language, Iguana boy. It's that simple, really.
It's not your language, Raptor. It's your mic.
No, see, I'm waiting for Mr. Shadier to pop up in the chat to be like, wow, and the streak continues. I tune in and all I hear is syphilis.
Yeah, where has Shadier gone? I miss him coming in at the most inopportune times.
Kind of like your friend when we were reading Empress Teresa.
Oh, Marcy. Oh no, that was when Marcy was when we were reading 11 Miles, and you made a racist joke about the Greeks and the Chinese.
I have never made any such joke in my life.
Uh-huh.
Raptor has to check to make
Only
sure
base
it isn't
jokes.
racist towards dinosaurs. Alright, so this is
Hang on.
Mitai Doty Walker.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you want me to?
Hold on. I'm trying to hear Raptor's conversation.
Confirmed that there is someone else in the house besides Raptor.
Oh yeah, probably his grandma.
Yeah, that was Grandma.
Hi, Grandma.
Oh, she's downstairs.
Cool.
So yeah, she wanted me to take out the trash later, so I might do that later
Cool.
because I'm a good boy.
Yes, you are. Throw back to that one time I came into a stream and y'all were talking about... Okay, I'm not going to read that out loud.
When was that? Which one was that? That sounds familiar.
That might have been when we were reading the Aqua Teen Hunger Force creepypastas.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I remember the episode where Carl was getting into that.
I think it was definitely like a stream we did with Vince.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, you wanna begin?
Sure. There is a haunted house where every night a bloody head fell down the chimney. At least that's what people said. So nobody would stay there overnight. Then a rich man offered $200 to whoever would do it. Fucking cheapskate.
Yeah.
And this boy said he would try if he could have his dog with him. So it was all settled. The very next night, the boy went to the house with his dog. To make it more cheerful, he started a fire in the fireplace. Then he sat in front of the fire and waited, and his dog waited with him. For a while, nothing happened. But a little after midnight, he heard someone singing softly off in the woods. The singing sounded something like this.
Mitai Doty Walker.
Man, you want to be the boy?
Yeah. I just gotta say, like, Raptor, I like how you did that. It was almost like in church, like, you know, like chanting a prayer or something.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought that was a good effect. Oh, and Bioman says it was when we were on Vince's channel reading the Pokemon creepypastas.
Right. Yes.
Yes. Alright.
I don't know how it came up, but somehow y'all got to that from snow on Mount Silverell.
Let's not go back to that. Was this dog
Look.
funny and yellow?
When we're with Vince, these conversations we have can take a complete 360.
Yep. Wait, don't you mean a
Actually,
180?
that doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean.
Alright, it's just somebody singing.
The boy told himself, but he was frightened. Then his dog answered the song. Softly and sadly, it sang.
Woof, 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 woof.
That's not what it said.
Can I speak the dog?
So is this the... I guess this is the dog, yeah.
Linchi, Kinchi, Coolie, Molly, Dingo, Dingo. Dingo.
Ate my baby.
What?
Ate my baby. Dingoes ate my baby.
Oh.
It's a movie. Whoa.
No, Raptor. It was something that actually happened.
Oh yeah, that's.
The movie was based off of it.
I had Bioman says immediately after y'all start talking about me and how I'm anti-Semitic.
One more time.
He says that the Mount Silver thing was immediately after we started talking about him and him being anti-Semitic.
Oh boy. I have to go and rewatch that stream. That was fun.
Iguana Boy says Darude Sandstorm just starts blasting out of the dog's mouth. That's what the dog said.
No. D-O-double-G.
The D-O-double-G said. Oh yeah, because you guys remember what the fox say? God damn.
Oh, I remember that song.
The boy could not believe his ears. His dog had never uttered a word before. Then, a few minutes later, he heard this singing again. Now it was closer and louder, but the words were the same.
Oh, sorry. Me, Tai, Do, Ti, Walker.
This time the boy tried to stop his dog from answering, but he was afraid that whoever was singing would hear it and come for them. But the dog paid no attention, and again it sang.
Lynchy, Kenchi, Kali, Molly, Dingo, Dingo.
Kali Ma?
No. A half hour later, the boy heard the singing again. Now it was in the backyard, and the song was the same. I mean, at least the guy's walking painfully slow.
Me, Tai, Do, Ti, Walker.
Again, the boy tried to keep his dog quiet, but the dog sang out louder than ever.
Lynchy, Kenchi, Kali, Molly, Dingo, Dingo.
Soon the boy heard the singing again. Now it was coming down the chimney.
Me, Tai, Do, Ti, Walker.
The dog sang right back.
Lynchy, Kenchi, Kali, Molly, Dingo, Dingo.
Suddenly, a bloody head fell out of the chimney. It missed the fire and landed right next to the dog. The dog took one look at it and keeled over dead from fright. Aww. The head turned and stared at the boy and slowly opened its mouth and...
Ah! Alright,
he
Kenzie,
screamed.
what kind of puppy snuff story do you have us reading?
I didn't know the dog died in this one.
Go watch Old Yeller, tell us
What's
what
that
you
for the dog,
think.
lad?
I will never watch Old Yeller.
Yeah, I didn't remember that song and I would have kept it that way. What song? An actual baby was actually eaten by an actual dingo, Mandy. It's no laughing matter. Just start singing like those Alvin and the Chipmunk remixes. Your pets don't make it a habit of speaking. Whack. Nice, metal. This is from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Yes, it is. And hello, Millie. Glad you could join
Hi, Millie.
us.
Yes,
Hey,
that's
Millie.
what we're reading.
Yes, the dog is now dead.
Damn it.
A
One of
man.
status deficit in all of anime.
So we have some poems here.
A man who lived in Leeds.
Oh, we in Britain. Manny, would you like to read this one?
Sure. Some say this rhyme doesn't mean anything. Oh, great. Others are not so sure. There was a man who lived in Leeds. He filled his garden full of seeds. And when the seeds began to grow, it was like a garden filled with snow. But when the snow began to melt, it was like a ship without a belt. And when the ship began to sail, it was like a bird without a tail. And when the bird began to fly, it was like an eagle in the sky. And when the sky began to roar, it was like a lion at my door. And when the door began to crack, it was like a penknife in my back. And when my back began to bleed, I was dead, dead, dead indeed. Ah.
You're supposed to scream.
Hey, look at me, guys. I'm Ryan Johnson. I'm subverting your expectations. I actually don't have work tonight, so I dropped by. Excellent. I'm glad you were able to join us. British,
Thank you
yeah.
for coming.
Finally found the answer to the question, what the dog do?
And we have another poem or song
Poem.
because there's actually some that actually looks like a little bit of sheet music on the image underneath. But the old woman all skin and bone. Would you like me to take this one?
Yeah. I'm not gonna sing and get another strike.
I'm not gonna sing it either.
Lame. Coward.
There was an old woman all skin and bone who lived near the graveyard all alone. Ooh.
Ooh.
That's what's in the poem, guys.
Yes.
She thought she'd go to church one day to hear the parson preach and pray. Ooh. And when she came to the church house stile, she thought she'd stop and rest a while. Ooh. She came up to the door. She thought she'd stop and rest some more. Ooh. But when she turned and looked around, she saw a corpse upon the ground. Ooh. From its nose down to its chin, the worms crawled out and the worms crawled in. Ooh. The woman to the preacher said, "Shall I look like that when I am dead?" Ooh. The preacher to the woman said, "You shall look like that when you are dead." Okay, SpongeBob.
That was awesome. Bean Daddy Jones. And then a dinosaur in a sombrero shows up. The man from Leeds became dissatisfied with his seeds, so he decided to plant D's nuts. Got him! I love poems. They are so nice sounding. Yes. But guys, remember, Gemma in her Scottishness taught us that it's poem.
Hoi.
Well,
Whoa, cool worms.
So our next story is he heard footsteps coming up the cellar stairs.
And I can already tell you this is going to be better than the lady in the basement.
Really? What gave you that idea? Could it be that the lady in the basement was shit?
Cradling the balls.
I mean, it did give me one of my favorite underrated Matt quotes, which no one has ever drawn attention to. But at one point, he just goes, Ash Ketchum's genitals, what's happening?
Yes. SpongeBob in chat, good one, Raptor. Got him. Actually, we had one of those moments with Mike yesterday. Or no, that was 2 days ago now. God damn. But we found some old records in this antique place we went to, and Mike's like, you'd think by now they'd at least have CDs. I went, CDs nuts.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Kenzie, you would have hated being there. The two of us together, it was like a pun in bad joke black hole.
Like, you would have thought Mike, of all people, would have realized.
I think he did it on purpose.
Yeah, did he?
Probably.
I mean, yeah, it seems within the realm of possibility for Mike.
See, it might be
Who
better.
is absent tonight?
Yes. Might be better, but will they be fucking a door or jerking off a steel pole? This could very well become basement door erotica like the other one. That was a classic Matt quote, says the father.
It was, and no one talks about it. And maybe it's because he said it like pretty quietly, but like you could still clearly hear him. And it's like just the absurdity of this, what he just said. And it's like no one talks about it.
Ah, that is so beautiful.
Anyway,
All right.
there are ghosts in this chapter. One comes back as a real person, another takes revenge on her murderer, and there are other strange happenings.
Well, thanks. Just
Oh,
give
thanks.
us the whole story. Just give it all away.
Thank you, Schwartz.
Raptor, do you want to start this one?
Okay, I shall. Ted, Martin, and Sam.
Read the
Miller were
title
good
first.
friends. Okay. The Thing. Not only to the film, The Thing. This is completely different. Ted, Martin, and Sam Miller were good friends. They spent a lot of time together. On this particular night, they were sitting on a fence near the post office, talking about one thing and another. There was a field of turnips across the road. Suddenly, they saw something crawl out of the field and stand up. It looked like a man, but in the dark it was hard to tell for sure. Then it was gone. Poof. But then it appeared again. It walked halfway across the road. Then it turned around and went back into the field. Then it came out a third time and started towards them. By now, Ted and Sam were scared, and they started running. But when they had finally stopped, they decided they were being foolish. They weren't sure what had scared them, so they decided to go back and get a better look. Pretty soon, they saw it for what it was coming to meet one. No, it was coming to meet them. It was wearing black pants, a white shirt, and black suspenders.
I'm gonna be Sam.
I'll
Okay.
be Dean.
Sam said,
I'm going to try to touch it. Then we'll know if it's real.
he walked up to it and peered into its face. It had bright, penetrating eyes sunken deep in its head. It looked like a skeleton. Ted took one look and squeaked,
Ah!
and
We're
again.
out of the jump scare stories, Manny. We can't spook our audience too much.
But it's fun.
Wait, hold on. No, because you said that, I'm throwing them right into the shark-infested waters. I'm really spooking it up here.
Oh, no, guys.
Oh, the chains. The
Ah,
bond was
no,
chained.
no, it's the chains from my dreams.
Anyway, and again, he and Sam ran. But this time, the skeleton followed them. When they got to Ted's house, they stood in the doorway and watched it. It stayed out in the road for a while. Then, it disappeared. Poof. A year later, Ted got sick, and he died.
Well, geez, just
Towards the end of his life, Sam sat up with him every night. The night Ted died, Sam said he looked just like the skeleton. Dun, dun, dun.
Jesus, why Ted? Sam was the one who decided I'm gonna go and touch it.
How's then he gained the touch of death?
God damn it, Cam. It does.
Yeah. They made a joke like that in Arrested Development.
Oh no. Manny, the father is starting to melt from all the spooks and scares. He can't take it.
Hey, the father, you want something to eat? I can go make you something in my haunted kitchen. The father! You want something to eat?
In the haunted microwave.
Yes, it always cooks your food for just slightly too long. So when you take that first bite, you're like, I burned my tongue.
Truly scary.
So the
Absolutely
next one
horrifying.
is cold as clay. Manny, you want to take this one?
Yep, one sec.
You eating?
Yep.
What you eating?
Jerky. Cajun
Ooh,
barbecue
yum.
smoked beef brisket jerky.
Well, goddamn.
Yeah.
That
You and
sounds
your
so
fancy
tasty.
jerky.
Oh yeah, we went into the beef jerky experience. And
That sounds like a gay thing. Is that a gay thing?
no. But my dad got me a gift card for that place for Christmas. $25. It got me one bag of jerky.
Oh,
It is
that sounds pricey.
It is very high quality jerky though. It's not just like, stuff you get at the grocery store.
It's not your average Slim Jim.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where like Mike posted, he got the alligator jerky.
Did he like it?
He didn't say yet.
I'll have to send you this video where it's a YouTuber I like who tried like different jerky and he hated just about all of them. And one of them was, I think, alligator.
Actually, my sister's brother-in-law went there once and tried their ghost pepper jerky. And
oh boy.
They almost had to call an ambulance because he couldn't breathe for a few seconds.
Oh god.
Yeah. Ted was named Ted, therefore he must die, for he can never live up to the greatness of Teddy Roosevelt. Damn straight.
If that were the case, you'd think they'd like make you sign a waiver for that kind of jerky.
Yeah. You ever had deer jerky? I have. Alright. Oh yeah, there's also a very funny scene in an episode of Supernatural where Dean tries ghost pepper jerky.
I've never tried ghost pepper jerky, but I have tried Carolina Reaper sriracha.
Oh, jeez. The Reaper is hotter than the ghost pepper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was also like a sriracha, so, it's mixed in with all this other shit. I mean, it was good, but I mostly just tasted burning.
Yeah.
It tasted like burning metal.
Yeah, I read that
and I immediately reached for a glass of milk.
I read that there are two peppers that are actually hotter than the Carolina Reaper. One they just call Dragon Breath. And the other one I don't remember the name, but they say it's hotter than all of them, but to the point where it's literally lethal for a person to try and eat it.
Hottest peppers in the world.
So they don't
it's still
classify it as a pepper.
Well, according to the Scoville scale, Carolina Reaper still holds it at 2,200,000 Scoville units. Let's see, what's the next is the Trinidad Moruga, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Scorpion at 2,009,231 Scoville units.
Okay, wait, here's what I was talking about. How officially there's no other pepper that is hotter than the Carolina Reaper. However, unconfirmed reports show that the Dragon's Breath and Pepper X, also bred by Ed Curry, reached 2,483,584 Scovilles and 3.18 million Scovilles, respectively.
So it said also
Holy
bred
fuck.
by this man. Is that the same guy who bred the Carolina Reaper?
Yes.
God, what is this guy doing?
But yeah, they say that those both are so hot that they're basically not
Inedible.
considered peppers, yeah, because they're inedible.
Fascinating.
My
So
brother once just walked up, said, "Take a bite," and handed me a Carolina Reaper. It wasn't that bad, but it was still pretty damn hot.
yeah, the ghost pepper is now number 7.
Oh, jeez.
So there's like 7. There are 6 more that are hotter than the ghost pepper.
I just remembered Toby in the Toast Gang video. All right, lads, we're good. We're good. Oh. But then I still think though Gemma's reaction was best when she got a second one. How is it? No.
Ah,
Oh, and the father says about that Curry guy, he was making fun, damn it.
oh
Alright.
boy, I can hear Eli scratching on my door. Hang on, I'm gonna let him in.
Watch out,
Eli.
it might be 2 severed skeletal feet.
No, it's Eli, because I believe my mom has started cooking, and I believe I've mentioned before that he has PTSD now, because our fire alarm is so sensitive that like something as innocuous as just opening the oven can set it off.
Aw.
Like to the point now where to counteract it, we have to put like a shower cap over it whenever we cook. Like that is our solution.
Damn.
But Eli still has PTSD because he associates the oven with the fire alarm now. Hi, buddy.
Oh, I kind of feel bad making jokes about Ed Curry now.
Come here, pup.
So Cam says, I think I've heard of this guy. If I'm right, he started breeding peppers to tackle his alcoholism. In that case, good on him.
Good for him. Come here, pup.
Alright, so...
Eli.
Eli!
My boy.
Okay,
My
I've got him on
man.
my lap.
Good. Now, we can read Cold as Clay. A farmer had a daughter. Is she single?
Go
For
to
whom-
horny jail.
Hey, don't be ditching anyone for liking Southern girls. For whom he cared more than anything on earth. She fell in love with a farmhand named Jim. I'm going to kill Jim. But the farmer did not think Jim was good enough for his daughter. To keep them apart, he sent her to live with her uncle on the other side of the country. Bit extreme. Soon after she left, Jim got sick, and he wasted away and died.
Jesus Christ, it seemed like she was the only thing keeping him alive. Farmer Dad, you just murdered a man.
When Farmer Dad asked the doctor what was wrong, he said, I don't know. Medically, there is nothing wrong with him. He has simply lost the will to live.
Eli, you coming in or out?
And I apologize for making that reference.
You're going to hear my door creaking a lot because I think Eli does not know what he wants to do.
Oh. Amen to that, Manny. Yes, good on you, the father. The father also says, no, Kenzie, it's tail style. It's going to scratch your feet up.
This is the cutest living tails doll I've ever seen.
And to this day, Kenzie's feet ache and are sore. Alright, everyone's...
Oh my god, he has a chainsaw!
No, I'm just picturing Eli with the chainsaw.
Just a really tiny one, he's carrying it in his teeth.
You got the off-brand dog food! Alright, everyone said he died of a broken heart. God damn, the Star Wars joke ended up not being a joke. The farmer felt so guilty about Jim's death, he could not tell his
be!
daughter
You
what
pretty
had
much sent
happened.
away the only thing keeping him alive.
She continued to think about Jim. Oh, I can make that stop. And the life they might have had together. One night, many weeks later, there was a knock on her uncle's door. When the girl opened the door, Jim was standing there.
Can I be Jim?
Sure.
You're not gonna want to with this
Why
one
not?
line.
Oh.
Alright. Your father asked me to get you, he said.
He said, "Here, you want me to take over?"
Yes. I came on his best horse.
Jim.
So, wait. Now he's calling the daughter best horse? But tis.
Jesus Christ. These jokes write themselves. She packed a few things and they left. The uncle, I guess, just passed out from alcoholism. Let's go with that. She rode behind him, clinging to his waist. He soon complained of a headache.
It aches something terrible.
Take a cold shower, he told her. She put her hand on his forehead. Why,
Nah,
you
darling. A little lower.
Why, you are as cold as clay, she said. I hope you are not ill. And she wrapped her handkerchief around his head.
Fuck, I can't see!
They traveled so swiftly that in a few hours they reached the farm. The girl quickly dismounted, giggity, and knocked on the door. Her father was startled to see her. Didn't you send for me? She asked.
No, I didn't. Why do I sound like a substitute for some reason?
He said. She turned to Jim, but he was gone and so was the horse. They went to the stable to look for them. The horse was there. It was covered with sweat and trembling with fear. Can horses sweat?
They hear distantly, "Ha! I ain't paying no child support!"
Are you saying the corpse fucked the horse?
No. Why are you calling the girl a horse now?
You misunderstand me. I'm saying whore.
Oh.
No, I'm saying horse. But there was no sign of Jim. Terrified, her father told her the truth about Jim's death. Then quickly he went to see Jim's parents. They decided to open his grave. The corpse was in its coffin, but around its head, they found the girl's handkerchief.
Hey, that's actually a pretty good ending.
Well,
Yeah.
Like, not, it's like kind of a more unique take on, found his jacket on the gravestone.
Right. And for obviously a ghost story meant to be targeted towards children, it's a pretty decently spooky one. This probably would have really gotten me as a kid, but this is one of the ones I actually don't remember.
Gotcha.
I do remember a few, and when we come across them, I'll let you know which ones, because there are some I have fond memories of, and I also might be thinking of others that are from the other two books.
Okay. See, here's the problem, though.
I can hear you chewing.
Sorry. It said the truth about Jim's death. It should be the truth about Jesse Wolf's death.
No, it should be the truth about Jim's murder. That is basically what this dad did.
But that makes no sense.
Aw. Eli's so paranoid.
Oh.
And because my room is right above the kitchen, I can smell the food, and I think he does too.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't know what to do.
Horses can sweat, yes. Says Cam.
Interesting. I did not know that. And who said this? Our streams weren't educational. So on to our next.
the more you know.
On to our next story: The White Wolf.
Game system?
Sure. The haunted game system. We don't get enough of those with creepypastas.
And yes, Cam, Jesse Wolf of the USA. Story doesn't make sense in Truth About His Death. It's the truth about his death, but there's no Xbox or Minecraft. All right.
Yeah, it's like these are actually timeless stories.
The Timberwolves around Toilet People Creek had gone out of hand.
Read it.
The Timberwolves around French Creek had gotten out of hand. There were so many wolves, the farmers could not stop them from killing their cattle and sheep. So the state put a bounty on them. It would pay a hunter $10 for every wolf pelt he turned in. Excuse me. The butcher in town was, unfortunately, named Bill Williams. I thought it was pretty good
Billy
money.
the Butcher!
Yep, he's having an affair with the Sanderson sisters' sister.
Yep.
He'll show up in 200 years as a zombie.
The buck-toothed one's gonna kill him and resurrect him, and he's just gonna kind of shuffle around and be comic relief.
Yes.
That's my
stopped-
zombie sound.
Excellent. He stopped working as a butcher and started killing wolves. He was good at it. Every year, he killed over 500 of them. I don't think they can breed back that quickly.
You know what's something about Billy the Butcher, and like I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's something that I think is pretty funny.
What's that?
Is that on TV tropes, like there's a lot of like speculation, like they're like it's unknown why he's called Billy the Butcher if he was like a serial killer when he was alive or something. I'm like, couldn't he have just been the village butcher?
Yeah, he wasn't
Is
supposed
that
to be
not
a
occurring
killer.
anyone?
Yeah,
Like no one on TV tropes seems to consider that. Like it has to be no, he was a serial killer. Like you could have just been the town butcher.
Yeah, like his only crime was consorting with the witches. Hey, consorting,
Consorting with Sarah's pussy.
Kenzie, this is a family stream.
Oh yeah, when?
After it became one after we kicked out all the gypsies. I'm going to hell.
Oh, we all are.
They lived right by a government wolf cloning facility. And I will be clear, now that we're done with Empress Teresa and everything, I do not actually hate gypsies. It's just for shock value. It's
We're not
anti-humor.
Really, anyone who actually like listened to our Empress Teresa streams would know that we're not the bad guys here.
Yeah.
Considering we were actively horrified at what we read by Bhutan's
Exactly.
hand.
Yeah, it's the bad guy was the old fundamentalist Christian who had a pathological hatred of France, and that's me calling it pathological. So that's saying something. Alright, that came to more than $5,000. It was quite a bit of money in those days.
Quite a lot of bit of money now.
I want $5,000.
I would
know, I
love
want some money.
$5,000.
Actually, I'd like 10,000 because that's as much as you can receive as a gift without the government stealing any of it.
Right. But then again, like, even though, like, with tax, you, like, I know how the meme where it's like, oh, well, if you win, like, the 100th million lottery, you know that the government will, like, take, like, you know, like, 40 million of that. So I still get $60 million.
Yeah.
No!
It's like, with Green Arrow and Black Canary and Justice League Unlimited. Yeah, I sold my company. Oh, so now you got another $2 billion? It's more like $1 billion after taxes.
Oh, I love that banter with him and Black Canary.
Oh yeah, they did that so perfectly. Because the fucking DCAU was the perfect version of those characters, all of them.
Well, I also really loved the iteration of Black Canary and Green Arrow in the Injustice games.
Oh yeah.
They were great in those.
The father says, I do not actually hate gypsies. Big, massive, super huge wink.
Father!
I want $5,000 very much, yeah. Alright. Oh, geez, excuse me.
You alright there?
Yeah, too much Cajun barbecue. Got my my sinuses clearing up.
Turning the taps that are your nose.
Yeah. Alright, after 4 or 5 years, Bill had killed so many wolves, there were hardly any left in that area. So he retired, and he vowed never to harm another wolf because wolves had made him rich. Okay.
It reminds me of this meme that like shows a that like it shows a grave, like a really old grave, and it was like, here lies, I don't remember the name, killed 99 bears.
Yeah.
And then like the whole comments were like speculating on like, he's like still roaming the earth looking for that one last bear.
I don't like this person. Alright, Cam says about Green Arrow with his the money and taxes though. Oh no, more money than I could ever earn in my entire life.
Right.
I mean, honestly, for the average person, $1 million would have you set for life.
Right.
Alright, so, then one day, a farmer reported that a white wolf had killed 2 of his sheep. He shot at it and hit it, but bullets didn't have any effect. Soon that wolf was seen all over the countryside, killing and running, but nobody could stop it. Hello, Bagel! Glad you could join us.
Hey, Bagel.
Is this
Hi,
a drawing
Bagel.
by the Scary Stories? Yes, that we are reading that. One night it came into Bill's yard and killed his pet cow. Bill forgot about his decision to never harm another wolf. He went into town the next morning and bought a young lamb for bait. He took it out into the hills and tied it to a tree. But the cat came back the very next day.
Can I just say that I love that this is the second time now where we're kind of like someone's come in at like a very random point in the story and they're like, is this scary stories to tell in the dark? And it's like, yeah.
Yes.
It makes me happy that it's very recognizable. Oh, well, he said it's this drawing from the scary story. Yes, but that's what we are reading.
As funny as it is nice to hear rather than like someone coming in and going, "What the fuck are you reading?"
Right.
The wolf was being able to dodge his bullets. The wolf had mental drugs given to it.
No, the wolf is a cyborg.
Don't you mean a cybark?
Like a
Shut up.
Yes. cyborg.
John Wick, but wolves are the bad guys. Alright, he took it out into the hills and tied it to a tree. Then he backed off about 50 yards and sat down under another tree. With his gun in his lap, he waited. When Bill didn't come back, his friends started looking for him. Finally, they found the lamb. It was still tied to a tree. It was hungry, but it was alive. Then they found Bill. He was still sitting against the other tree, but he was dead. His throat had been torn open. Bit violent for a children's story.
Yeah, I will say that.
There was no sign of a struggle. His gun hadn't been fired. There were no tracks in the soil around him. As for the white wolf, it was never seen again.
I don't know how that went down.
Mental drugs, that's what it was. I was blanking on the name for a second. Yeah, it's either mental drugs or liquid hate.
Well, mental drugs is the one that you're thinking of for dodging bullets.
Yeah. Liquid hate, god damn it.
That was a thing that was written in a story.
Oh my god. But now I'm thinking of homicidal Lou. But Lou, I love you. Bit soon.
And he was in a coma for most of that time.
Yeah. Bagel says, the lamb was on the lamb. Nice one.
Alright, can I take this one, The Haunted House?
Can you afford a house?
I wish. Oh, I would love to live in a supposed haunted house because I don't believe in that shit. So like, I would have like people like ghost hunters show up and be like, "Excuse me, can we stay?" I'm like,
See,
for a fee.
if I did that with my luck, it would be like, well, guys, turns out ghosts do exist. They don't scare you. They just annoy the living hell out of you. Guy won't shut the fuck up.
All ghosts can really do is just like slightly push a plate off a shelf, and that's another agency in the real world.
Yeah, like if the Paranormal Activity movies are anything to go by, they mostly just open and shut doors.
Yeah.
Recently,
Just to be slightly
Memulus
annoying.
just watched the first 4, and it's hilarious.
Unless they try to drag you down the hallway and up into the attic.
It's honestly the scariest part of that video, the one that Memulus did, was that he admitted he put sweet corn on his pizza.
Ew.
Right? Like,
oh.
I'm sorry, you Brits are fucking weird. Who put sweet corn on pizza? Anyway, the haunted house. One time, a preacher went to see if he could put a haunt to rest at a house in his settlement. The house had been haunted for about 10 years. Several people had tried to stay there all night, but they always would get scared out by the haunt. So this preacher took his Bible and went to the house, went on in, built himself a good fire, and lit a lamp. Sat there reading the Bible. Oh, okay, well, that's a sentence fragment, but okay. Then, just before midnight, he heard something start up the cellar, walking back and forth, back and forth. Then it sounded like somebody was trying to scream and got choked off. I say. Then there was a lot of thrashing around and struggling.
Sounds a bit rude.
And finally, everything got quiet.
Jeez.
Look, I mean, you gotta let him bask in the afterglow.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it did say that he was Catholic, so maybe he's allowed to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, preacher is not synonymous with priest.
Bagel says, you Brits are fucking weird, Kenzie Cullen 2022.
Yeah, what about it? They are. They put sweet corn on pizza. The old
It's
preacher.
just highlighting it.
The old preacher
Because
took
of the
a.
face. Sorry.
Can I read?
I don't know, can
Yeah.
you?
Sorry.
Well, let's see. The old preacher took up his Bible again, but before he could start reading, he heard footsteps coming up the cellar stairs. He sat watching the door to the cellar, and the footsteps kept coming closer and closer. He saw the doorknob turn, and when the door began to open, he jumped up and hollered.
What do you want?
The door shut back easily.
No.
And there wasn't a sound.
Oh, wait, this is... I don't remember which region it is, but Co made fun of it in one story, like, the door shut back easy, like.
And there wasn't a sound. The preacher was trembling a little, but he finally opened the Bible and read a while. Then he got up and laid the book on the chair and went mending the fire. Then the haunt started walking again, and step, 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 up the cellar stairs. The old preacher sat watching the door, saw the doorknob turn and the door open. It looked like a young woman. He backed up and said,
Who are you? What do you want?
The haunt sort of swayed like she didn't know what to do. Then she just faded out. The old preacher waited. And when he didn't hear any more noises, he went over and shut the door. He was sweating and trembling all over. But he was a brave man, and he thought he'd be able to see it through. Sounds a bit rude. So he turned his chair to where he could watch and sat down and waited. It wasn't long before he heard the haunt start up again. Slowly. Step. 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 Closer and closer. Step. Step. And it was right at the door. The preacher stood up and held out his Bible out in front of him. Then the knob slowly turned and the door opened wide. This time the preacher spoke quiet, like. He said,
"In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, who are you and what do you want?"
"Hey, the Father, you're in this." The haunt came right across the room, straight to him, and took hold of his coat. It was a young woman about 20 years old. Her hair was torn and tangled, and the flesh was dropping off her face so he could see the bones and part of her teeth. She had no eyeballs, but there was a sort of blue light way back in her eye sockets. She had no nose to her face. Then she started talking. It sounded like her voice was coming and going with the wind blowing it. She told how her lover had killed her for her money and buried her in the cellar. She said if the preacher would dig up her bones and bury her properly, she could rest. Then she told him to take the end joint of the little finger from her left hand and lay it in the collection plate at the next church meeting, and he'd find out who had murdered her. Interesting strategy. And she said, "If you come back here once more after that, you'll hear my voice at midnight, and I'll tell you where my money is hid, and you can give it to the church." The haunt sobbed like she was tied, and she sunk down toward the floor and was gone. The preacher found her bones and buried them in her graveyard. The next Sunday, the preacher put the finger bone in the collection plate, and when a certain man happened to touch it, it stuck to his hand. The man jumped up and rubbed and scraped and tore at the bone, trying to get it off. Then he went to screaming like he was going crazy. Well, he confessed to the murder, and they took him on to jail. After the man was hung, the preacher went back to that house. What?
That's a mistake. It should be after the man was hanged.
Yeah, after the man was hung sounds like a bit rude. The preacher went back to that house one midnight, and the haunt's voice told him to dig under the hearthrug. He did, and he found a big sack of money. And where that haunt had held onto his coat, the print of those burning fingers was burned right into the cloth. It never did come out.
I'm sorry for laughing. That was actually a pretty good story.
No, that was good.
It just made me think of an episode of Johnny Bravo where little Susie starts a lemonade stand, and like some guy in a limousine like pulls up and has a cup, and he comes back. He's like, "Little girl, that was the best glass of lemonade I've ever had. I'm ready to give you this big sack of money for the recipe."
I will say, the illustration for this story is fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah, and the story itself, like, describing her, it's like, this is a kid's book?
Kids can handle a lot, you know?
Alright, I do want to catch up on some comments here. Cam says, "I actively look for haunted houses because they can be cheaper from superstitious people avoiding it." Bagel says, "Holy shit, yeah, that's gruesome for a kid's book. I wish I read these as a kid, but I was too busy being scared of the goddamn Stripe book. If you know, you know." Father says, "Imagine you move into a haunted house and the ghost just rambles about his stupid hobbies you don't remotely care about, and he gets pissed when you don't listen."
Hang on.
Pizza. What in the fuck did I just hear? Yes, Raptor.
A Stripe book.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Do tell.
Okay, it's about this book about this girl. She likes lima beans, but she wants to be cool in front of her friends. so she claims to hate lima beans. Okay, you following so far?
Yeah.
Well, one day she comes down with a condition that the cause her to become like a striped. As in, her skin just becomes like rainbow stripes.
Huh.
And then she fuses with the wall of her womb. And becomes one with her womb.
Interesting.
Yeah. That was a good book. It was good.
The father says the old preacher waited, as in WEIGHT. Waited. He was jacked as fuck. She had no style. She had no face. She'll never be Miss United States. Wrong word, book. 0 out of 10. After the dude was hung, pills paid off.
So, on to our next story, The Guest.
What? I did not invite them. Get the fuck out.
Would you like to read it, Manny?
Please laugh. Yes.
There, feel better?
A young man and his wife were on a trip to visit his mother, Simp. Usually, they arrived in time for supper.
Says the guy who was so whose interest was completely piqued by the mention of a Southern girl.
Hey, when they say ride 'em cowgirl. But they had gotten a late start, and it was now getting dark. So they decided to look for a place to stay overnight and go on in the morning. Just off the road, when they saw a small house in the woods. Okay, that again was more of a sentence fragment.
No, just off the road, they saw a small
Oh,
house
they
in the
saw.
woods.
Okay,
Maybe they rent rooms.
the wife said, so they stopped to ask. An elderly man and woman came to the door. They didn't rent rooms, they said, but they would be glad to have them stay overnight as their guests. They had plenty of room, and they would enjoy the company. The old woman made coffee and brought out some cake. Damn, go grandma. And the four of them talked for a while. Then the young couple were taken to their room. They again explained that they wanted to pay for this, but the old man said he would not accept the money.
Go grandpa.
Yeah. The young couple got up early the next morning before their hosts had awakened. On a table near the front door, they left an envelope with some money in it for them, or for the room. Then they went on to the next town. They stopped in a restaurant and had breakfast. When they told the owner where they had stayed, he was shocked. Raptor, you woulda?
Okay, I'll be the man. But that can't be.
He said.
That house burned to the ground, and the man and the woman who lived there died in the fire.
The young couple could not believe it, so they went back to the house, only now there was no house. All they found was a burned-out shell. They stood staring at the remains, trying to understand what had happened. Then the woman screamed. In the rubble was a badly burned table, like the one they had seen by the front door. On the table was the envelope they had left that morning.
Nice.
Yeah, nice little classic.
Yeah, very typical ghost story, but
Oh yeah, no, I mean, it's not a bad thing.
yeah, no, well written.
Oh, and Bagel says, yes, that's the book, Raptor. Okay, I'll go. Walks away sadly. The guest is a ghost. Hey, they make them Southern no more. Ha, I get it. Alright, then there's this fella eating a big bowl of stew, I guess. They eat your
Porridge.
eyes, they eat your nose. Oh.
That ain't stew.
I
He
wish it
eats-
was stew or porridge.
He eats the eyes with his porridge.
So
The
I
add
guess
flavor.
that comes to the end of the ghost stories. So there are scary stories about all kinds of things. The ones told here are about a grave, a witch, a man who liked to swim, a hunting trip, and a market basket. There is also one about worms eating a corpse. Your corpse.
Whoa,
I'm
spook!
dead already, but I had so much to live for.
Well, Raptor, you are a dinosaur.
He survived into modern times.
The Hearse song. I'll sing this one now that it's properly listed as a song. Do you ever think as the hearse go bus by that you may be the next to die? They wrap you up in a long white sheet from your head down to your feet. They put you in a big black box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. And all goes well for about a week, and then the coffin begins to leak. Oh, God. The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. The worms play pinnacle?
Pinochle.
Pinochle, yes. Pinnacle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose. They eat the jelly between your toes. A big great worm with rolling eyes crawls in your stomach and out your eyes. Okay, well,
Worms
they
don't have
rhyme.
eyes.
You can't rhyme eyes with eyes. And your stomach turns a slimy green, and pus pours out like whipping cream. Ew.
Well, with the eyes and eyes, like, apparently the person who wrote this heard that. I was like, challenge accepted.
You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's what you eat when you are dead.
Worms don't have eyes.
Oh,
This
fuck.
song is unrealistic.
That actually made me... Oh, that actually made me gag.
Bet you wish you didn't eat all that jerky now, did you, you motherfucker?
And jelly beans.
Oh boy.
Oh, you had jelly beans?
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
got
love jelly beans so much.
blueberry, blue raspberry, and raspberry.
Oh, that
'Cause
sounds
Cam
tasty.
says, "Oh, I know a guy that did a good cover of this. Could you link that for us in Discord, Cam?
they heard,
Like, if you're not like joking,
they heard,
I actually want to know if someone did a cover of this."
then they heard airmail, and the ghost elbow slammed them from above. Now, see, that would be a fun haunted house. Haunted by the ghost of a luchador. He survived an asteroid impact, natural selection, the modern economy. So now
So
we...
next is the girl who stood on a grave. Hopefully that'll settle Manny's stomach a little more. Who's reading this one?
I'll do it. Some boys and
Can I be a
girls were
boy?
at a party one night. Cool. There was a graveyard down the street, and they were talking about how scary it was.
Don't ever stand on a grave after dark.
The boys said.
The person inside will grab you. She'll pull you under.
It's not true.
One of the girls said.
It's just a superstition.
Superstition.
I said that.
I'll give you $1 if you stand on a grave.
How old are these kids? $1. Grave doesn't scare me. Manny.
Yeah, said the girl.
I'll do it right now.
The boy handed her his knife. Jesus.
Stick this knife in one of the graves.
He said.
Then we'll know where you were there.
Why don't you just go with her and not stand on a grave?
I'm not going near those ghosts. You think I'm crazy?
The graveyard was filled with shadows and was as quiet as death.
There is nothing to be scared of.
The girl lied to herself, but she was scared anyway. She picked out a grave and stood on it. Then quickly she bent over and plunged the knife into the soil. And she started to leave. But she couldn't get away. Dumb bitch had put the knife through her own pant leg. Something was holding her back. She tried a second time to leave, but she couldn't move. She was filled with terror. She screamed and fell to the ground. When she didn't come back, the others went to look for her. They found her body sprawled across the grave. Without realizing it, she had plunged the knife through her skirt and pinned it to the ground. I was joking.
These are, I think, some of the more facetious, like, because some of these are actually, like, meant to be funny.
It was only the knife that held her. She had died of fright. Oh, well, that's fucking sad.
Yeah. Like, okay, maybe she was a little dumb. She didn't deserve to die.
Looks like we need a new girl character now for watching this show.
Did I say superstition?
Yes.
I might have tripped up on the words, but...
More like stupid stition, heyo. She tried to make like a tree, but she couldn't get out of there. Thank you, Biff. A new horse is the next one. Or I guess you could say, that's my horse.
And this is where we got the image.
Yes.
Also, I would like to point out, and maybe the story will explain it, but one of those horse's legs is looking pretty sexy there with its stiletto pump. Look at it!
Kenzie.
It looks
Kenzie.
like it's wearing a stiletto heel.
Kenzie.
What do you want,
No.
Raptor?
No.
Yes, it's already
Just
said
no.
it's out there. There's nothing you can say about it. That it's out there.
Still no.
Two farmhands shared a room. Yay. After a while, the one who slept near the door began to feel very tired early in the day. It's called adulthood. His friend asked what was wrong.
An awful thing happened. You want me to find Manny?
Fanny?
No, you go ahead and be this guy. I'll be the friend.
Okay. An awful thing happens every night. Which turns me into a horse. And rides
He
me all
said-
over the dang countryside.
I'll sleep in your bed tonight.
Please don't read it like that. His friend said.
We'll see what happens to me.
About midnight, an old woman who lived nearby came into the room. She mumbled some strange words over the farmhand, and he found he couldn't move. Then she slipped a bridle on him, and he turned into a horse. Kinky.
Yeah, this is starting to sound a little...
Look, what two consenting adults... Oh wait, he's not consenting.
And no wonder this guy was tired during the day.
The next thing he knew, she was riding him across the fields at breakneck speed. God damn it! Beating him to make him go even faster. I'm so glad we read this. Soon they came to a house where a party was going on. They left their keys in this bowl as they entered. She hitched him to a fence and went in. While she was gone, the farmhand rubbed against the fence while the bridle came off, and he turned back into a human.
Oh, thank God!
Then he went into the house and found the witch. He spoke those strange words over her, and with the bridle he turned her into a horse.
Oh, God.
Then he rode her to a blacksmith and had her fitted with horseshoes. After that, he rode her to the farm where she lived.
I have a pretty good filly here.
No,
Oh.
this is the friend.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, nothing's coming out anymore, man. It is dead. It's like those cartoon characters
Read it.
when they crawl out through the desert up to the water, and then they just open their mouths like, that's what it's like down there now.
Read.
But I have a pretty good filly here.
He told her husband. still you.
But I need a stronger horse. You want to trade? Fuck, I can't feel my legs.
The old man looked her over and said he would do it. The farmhand picked out another horse and rode away. Her husband led his new horse back to the barn. He took off the bridle and went to hang it up. But when he came back, the new horse was gone. Instead, there stood his wife with horseshoes nailed to her hands and feet. Ooh,
Fucking
God!
hell!
Jesus
That's good.
Christ! That
Well.
one's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Okay. Alligators.
Gators.
Hold on. Cricket says, where do the bots keep coming from? Okay, you see, Cricket, when two robots love each other very much. No, seriously, that is a good question.
How many have we had
Russia.
tonight?
I don't know. Oh, bots,
only-
3.
I
I
think
think
we
they come
had
from Russia.
we've had more than that in a stream though.
Probably.
I think we had a lot, maybe the Christmas episode because we were streaming for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright. So, we'll... I think I just got mic'd by Cricket. So her response to what I say is just, Manny!
Thank you, Cam, for sending the Hearst song.
And probably this one or the next one will be our last one for the evening.
And we'll take it up next. Do you want to take it up next week?
Yeah, we'll probably do the rest of this and then another ritual pasta. See, the thing with the ritual pastas is they get views.
Hmm.
Man, he sounded like she was asking him how many beers he had.
Well, this could get views, but you didn't. You instead of putting scary stories to tell in the dark, you put a story.
I'll change it.
Yeah, huh?
Oh!
He's working on it. He's working on it.
Did you hit your foot or something, Manny?
My knee.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry to hear that. That hurt.
It's
So why don't we
okay, because I'm doing something just to spite Kenzie. There, I changed the title. No, I don't know what that sound was. It was the
So,
sound
would you like to read alligators?
the sound of ultimate spite. And yes, I would.
Or as we would call it, flat fuck?
Yes, flat fucks. A young woman in town married a man from another part of the country. Oh, scandalous. He was a nice fellow, and they got along pretty well together. Well, you know what? I think if they got married, I'd hope they got along better than pretty well.
I mean, we don't know when this takes place. Love had nothing to do with it back then.
Hold on. Zeroing in. R.I.P. man knee. Cam, go to pun jail.
Cam.
Bagel says, I guess you could say that story was a shoe-in for the best story of the night. Nice one, Bagel, but also go to pun jail. Manny died. Oh, fuck, now I'm a ghost reading the stories.
Ooh.
I died, became ghost, and continued this stream.
I mean, we better get views for that alone.
Yeah, stream where an actual ghost is reading ghost stories.
This
Original
stream
idea, do not
scared Manny
steal.
so much, he died.
He did. He was game ended.
I was scared to death in Minecraft. There was
Gone wrong.
I'm not making up this line. There was only one problem. Every night, he'd go swimming in the river. Sometimes he would be gone all night long. Okay, yeah, swimming in the river. And she believed that. And she would complain about how lonely she was. This couple had 2 young sons.
Well, it sounds like she was getting up to something else if he was gone all night.
As soon as the
Honey,
boys...
why do ours boys look like the milkman?
Then again, if this story's old enough, it's like, honey, why do our boys look like the help? As soon as the boys could walk, their father began to teach them how to swim. And when they got to be old enough, he took them swimming in the river at night.
You sick fuck.
I hope old enough means what... Often they would stay there all night long, and the young woman would stay home all by herself. After a while, she began to act in a strange way. At least, that is what the neighbors said.
Don't worry, honey, that's just menopause.
She told them that her husband was turning into an alligator. That he was trying to turn the boys into alligators. What the fuck? Excuse me?
Schwartz, I'll give you credit.
No, hold on.
It's a creative premise.
Wait. She told them this. No, I read that right. Classic swimming in the river at 3 a.m.
It's a scary premise. Wouldn't you be scared if your fucking spouse turned into a flat fuck?
I'll be excited.
Raptor. You don't count. You are a dinosaur.
Well, honestly, Kenzie, at that point, I would just be glad to be with someone.
Jesus Christ, well, that turns sad.
Reject humanity, become gator. The man became the most base dude in the world. Alright. Everybody told her there was nothing wrong with a man taking his son swimming. That was a natural thing to do. And when it came to alligators, there just weren't any nearby. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a man taking his son swimming. It's a problem when he starts turning into an alligator. Are you not listening?
Mackenzie, that's impossible. There just weren't any nearby.
That, kids, is how alligators came to Florida.
No, the wife is just like, and that brings me, or no, the neighbors are just like, and that brings me to my next point, kids. Don't do crack. Alright, early one morning, the young woman came running into town from the direction of the river. She was soaking wet. Sounds a bit rude. She said a big alligator and 2 alligators had pulled her in and had tried to get her to eat a raw fish. They were her husband and her sons, she said. She was clearly stark raving mad. And they wanted her to live with them. But she had gotten away.
She rejected gatorship. Sad.
Her doctor immediately gave her a lobotomy. It made her smarter. Her doctor had decided she had lost her mind and had her put in the hospital for a while. After that, nobody saw her husband and the boys again. They just disappeared. But now and then, a fisherman would tell us about seeing alligators in the river at night. Usually it was 1 big alligator and 2 small ones. But people said they were just making it up. Everybody knows there ain't any gators living around here.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
I like this picture of an alligator with like a creepily human hand.
Yes. Gator Man!
And that, kids, is how Killer Croc came to be.
Alright, since I know you're thinking of cricket, you see, when 2 mutant gator people love each other very much.
You see, when two normal people love each other very much, they sometimes have a very malformed kid with a weird skin condition who ends up fighting a man in a bat costume.
No ears, Killer Croc? No ears? Is that part of your skin condition too? Yes.
And sometimes a tail.
Yeah. But that was an Invader Zim reference.
Yeah, I know.
Because that was a great show.
I just saw a meme. Well, I guess it was. You can call it a meme, but it's like one of those memes where it's just, it just shows like quotes from the show.
Yeah.
And it was that one episode where Zim was like, "I want to congratulate you on your great taste." Like he was like, "I just found out you are in love with me."
Yeah.
I'm butchering the quote, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Well, Gur, I think I've learned everything there is to know about human affection. I hate it! Especially the part with the beans. I'm not even gonna make any bean daddy jokes or anything, just I love that he just leaves it at that. The part with the beans.
Especially the part with the beans. You know, the guy who voices Zim is now in that show I've talked about before, Hell of a Boss.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh yeah, when Zim first comes in the door. You're on fire! Am I? Eh. Honestly, though, probably the moment in that show that made me crack up the most, well, that franchise, was actually in one of the comic books, where Zim is, like, he's at the mall disguised as, like, a woman with, like, a giant perm.
Mm-hmm.
And, somehow, like, Gur gets the grease trap from a fast food place to empty into the suit, so he becomes, like, huge and fat, and he's trying to run away before his disguise gets destroyed and he gets revealed. But then, like, the stomach just bursts open and Gur goes flying out in all the grease. And Zim just looks around terrified and goes, I was pregnant! That was the problem the whole time!
Jesus Christ. I don't know how they got away with that. That's so daring.
Yes.
For a Nickelodeon comic.
Well, this was after they had cut ties with Nick, so they were kind of free to be a little more edgy.
Oh, okay.
Then again, that show was pretty dark for Nickelodeon in general.
Well, yeah, but like if they couldn't make an episode where that happened, definitely.
Or they made an episode where a boy gets his eyes ripped out.
Yeah, but as soon as you bring up lady processes, like, oh, call the censors.
I gotta watch that show again, though.
Yeah. We should do a watch party.
That would be a good one.
I think it's on like YouTube for free.
Oh,
cool.
Is it?
Let me check my my advanced supercomputer, which I totally had.
If it's not, I know a website we could watch it on.
Good.
It's on YouTube. It's on there.
Nice. Oh yeah, that in the episode Mysterious Mysteries. Excuse me, little girl. Who are you? Get out of my house! Just throws an entire bowl of popcorn at the guy's head.
You know what? I just it reminded me of a joke that went over my head as a kid. Do you remember the episode of Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy wishes he was an adult and like he's like a fat, balding, creepy looking fucker, and then he's like, Becky, I'm so glad to see you, and she blows a whistle before she kicks the shit out of him.
Yes.
And then it was literally a rape whistle.
Now I'm thinking of Arrested...
Right over my head as a kid.
Now I'm thinking of Arrested Development again, where Jessica Walters has a rape whistle the whole time. Although the best moment with her in that show was when Joe buys a boat called the C Word. You know, SEAWARD.
I get it.
Yeah, when their mom's walking into the room. Okay, Joe, just get rid of the C Word. I'll leave when I'm good and ready, thank you.
I get it.
May she rest in peace.
Yeah.
Although I love the one meme, and like the person who made it was like, I do this strictly out of love because she was amazing. It's her. She's like, welcome to heaven. Who is it? Saint Peter at the gates.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, Saint Peter. Pulls his face away. No, it's Gene Parmesan. Ah, he did it again.
I don't know if I get that one.
In Arrested Development, she hires a private investigator named Gene Parmesan, who like comes up with like these ridiculous disguises. Like in one, there's like this giant bear mascot carrying balloons, and she's like, Gene, is that you? And just like shakes his head. Then they say something else, and he's like, actually, takes the head off. It is me, Gene Parmesan. She's like, ah, he did it again.
Gotcha.
She's like, Gene is the best. The narrator, Gene was far from the best.
Yeah.
Anyway, I need to go eat some dinner now.
Yeah,
Bagel says
so do
fairly odd parents pushed it sometimes, like when a water balloon hits a French couple and immediately go, we surrender. Alright, well, I hope you all had fun. Kenzie, I hope you enjoyed your 1-year celebration stream.
And before we go, I
A lot
just
of
want to
fun.
say, Manny, because I said to you this before, but I don't tell you enough. Thank you for having me on for this past year. It's been one hell of a ride. And thank you guys for putting up with me for this long and dealing with my stupid jokes and constant misspeaking.
No
I don't know how you
problem.
guys have managed to tolerate me for this long, but I really appreciate it.
Well, the same way you've dealt with the puns.
Barely.
Lots and lots of drinking.
Fair.
But
But seriously, and all this, I love doing this. It's a blast, and I just look forward to continuing more.
I'm glad. Oh, and actually, we might have to put this on hold for next week.
Why is that?
Because next week, Raptor, you.
Huh?
Oh, it's
Me?
his turn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it has been 1 year since I've been on the channel.
Yeah. Next week will also be the 1-year anniversary to our beginning of Empress Teresa.
Oh, God.
Raptor, that's when you first joined us. Well, I mean, well,
God,
duh.
we were but merely children.
Yeah, I mean that's
So
kind of
bright-eyed and
obvious.
full of hope.
That is kind of obvious since he's the one who requested the book.
Yeah.
And
And
I know I
his
say
case-
it all the time, but probably one of my favorite moments from all of this was Raptor, your video of you burning the book.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was incredible.
Just your laugh at the like. Wait, yeah. Okay, yeah. February 25th was when we started reading Empress Teresa. So
What were we thinking?
that was going to be glorious, and we were right.
But it took us a lot of booze to get through it.
Yes.
At least with you and me.
Next week, Raptor is going to Brazil. Tomorrow, we shall go to Mexico. All right, but yeah, everyone, thanks for joining us. Maybe more Cold Granite this week. Not sure. It's just if Gemma and I can work that out. But either way, we will be back next Tuesday with more Hot and Cold Beans. So please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Same bean time, same bean channel.
Good night.
Adios, everyone.